in a family of elite combat athletes and top-tier performers, the final boss has always stood out, even when he was just a blue chipper. But there wouldn't be a final boss. There wouldn't even be a bloodline if it wasn't for The Rock's grandfather, the High Chief Peter Maivia. You can think of him as the first boss. Predecessor to the tribal chief.
He is one of, if not the foundation for our family. The Anawa'i Fatu Maivia wrestling dynasty. I don't think there's anybody more responsible for what's going on now than the High Chief himself.
Peter Maivia isn't simply one of the two principals.
Uh-oh, somebody called the local zoo.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is a steel cage match. Introducing first, from Detroit,
And strolling down the aisle, the opponent of George Steele, Peter Maivia.
Always a chaotic matchup.
his opponent, from the Isle of Samoa, weighing in at 275 pounds, High Chief Peter Maivia.
Steel cage match underway. Peter Maivia versus George the Animal Steele. Most of the matches between Peter Maivia and George Steele have ended inconclusively, but this time,
Double leg takedown, got the shoulders down.
countered into a new cover.
What reflexes, looking for the pin.
Reverses the pin, shoulders down. Oh, look at this, reverses the leverage. Gets his shoulder up right before two.
He isn't gonna go away that easy.
Peter Maivia very tough, but he also has movie star good looks.
Quite the combo. And it served him well, Michael. In fact, the High Chief has major acting and stunt work credits to his name. And who knows, maybe we'll see the Maivia name on Hollywood billboards again sometime.
Well, before any of that happens, the High Chief needs to survive this war against the animal.
Ooh-wee! Vicious chop. Man, what an uppercut. Side headlock takeover, nicely done. Tremendous pressure applied.
Two very opposing styles in every sense of the word, Corey. High Chief Maivia is a much more physically gifted and talented athlete in the ring than Steele. What's it going to take for the animal to get the upper hand here?
Well, he's got to be even more chaotic than ever inside this cage. Nothing about Steele makes sense to someone as traditional as Maivia. There's never any telling him what the animal's going to do to him, and he needs to keep it that way.
Some folks call Peter Maivia the Flying Hawaiian, and the reasons are obvious for that moniker. But guys, how has he earned the other nickname of the High Chief?
Well, Cole, Peter Maivia is very close to the Anawa'i family. In fact, Peter's considered a blood brother to the patriarch of that clan.
You add on the fact that Maivia was born and raised in Samoa, you can see the great pride he has for that land and its people in the tribal ink that covers his body.
Wait, trouble here. Can he get it fully locked in?
And look at this now. Bad intentions coming with this hold. Big back body throw.
You see that height on that?
Hoping that was enough. Was it?
What was that? He had him exactly where he wanted him.
Oh, no. Getting in position. What's he planning to do here?
A stump puller.
He lets go of the hold, but I don't see any reason for it.
No telling what's going on in his mind right now, Michael.
When a man like Peter Maivia signs up for a match with the animal, he doesn't know what to expect, just to expect anything in the world.
Peter Maivia knows full well that he's in for some unusual treatment tonight. In fact, Steele often has trouble finding opponents due to his erratic nature.
But when it comes to competition, the High Chief wants to prove he's worthy of that name. Peter Maivia will take on any competitor, no matter the difficulty.
And he's being totally cut off here.
And you can see Steele is struggling to weather the storm of the High Chief. Boom! The kick lands. Boom!
Effective use of the knee. The High Chief Peter Maivia really making a name for himself at WWE, but he's had plenty of experience on the way up.
Plenty of championships on the West Coast, but he's made the biggest splash in Hawaii, where he earned multiple tag team titles.
Oh yeah, Maivia is a huge celebrity on the islands. In fact, I've heard some consider him the personification of Maui.
George beats him to the punch.
And he needed that badly.
But George has to push now while the window's open.
That unraveled on George. Oh no, now possibly setting up for a submission maneuver.
The stump puller.
He submits, he taps out.
Here is your winner, High Chief Peter Maivia!
Anytime these two have faced off, it's been eye for an eye. But the steel cage has finally delivered a decisive victory for the High Chief, Peter Maivia.
George Steele is one tough animal, but the way Maivia faced him in the cage tonight just reinforced what everyone